Okay, it is 6 o'clock on my clock, so we are going to get started. Just want to check a couple pieces of technology. So I'm Justin Fields. Can any of my Hebron counseling partners hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, great. And then you should be able to see a blue course selection title screen.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So without further ado, let's get going. And like I said, this presentation, one of the benefits of doing these things virtually is we record them and then we post them. It's likely that these will be posted on our course selection homepage tomorrow at some point during the day. So you can review these, refer to them. If you have to step in and out of these presentations, it'll be available for you as we go throughout. My name is Justin Fields. I am the lead counselor and one of the school counselors here at Hebron. And then also co-hosting this with me is Miss Janae Bradley, another school counselor, Miss Latasha Rayford, another one of my school counseling teammates, Miss Janelle Renee, another school counselor from Hebron, and then Dr. Jessica Robinson, who is our college and career counselor who works for Collin College, but works full-time at Hebron, and she will be chiming in for a bit of this presentation. Miss Bradley, Miss Rayford, and Miss Renee are going to be monitoring the chat. So if you have questions as they come up, they will likely be fielding your questions and responding. If they see a flurry of questions about a certain topic, they may interrupt me and ask me to address something more thoroughly. And they'll also be dropping in links into the chat. So if you're looking for a website or to get access to something, you can find that there as we go forward. This presentation is for the class of 2023 and 2024, so our rising 11th and 12th graders for next school year. We are going to be, this is our agenda for the evening, so we are going to be doing a quick overview of the course selection process and giving you an understanding of the timeline that we are going through, highlighting some very important general notes about course selection to always keep in mind. We will also be discussing very briefly the different formats of classes that we have at Hebron and also in LISD that you'll be asked to choose from as we go through this process. And then we are going to walk through the core course options for rising juniors and seniors. And we'll go through that part so you feel like you've got a good understanding of the choices. And then after that, we are going to give you hopefully enough information to jump off to the rest of your course selection planning with you or your student. So you should feel like you have a very targeted goal by the end of this presentation. Keep in mind as we go through, the other benefit of posting this stuff is that I'm going to probably glaze over some of the information, not as carefully. I want to make sure we get examples and answer questions. So there might be some stuff that you feel like I go through quickly, but I don't want to be guilty of reading a slide to you. And I think that'll just not be as well time spent. So please make note of that. To start with, I've actually started our course selection process with your students. We have been doing some activities through advisory going back to early last week. That information and all of the information throughout this process is going to be posted on the Hebron High School course selection information webpage, which is posted once early in the chat. If we will post it again, I think it was just posted there. Thank you, Ms. Bradley. Just so you get an idea of what is on there, you're going to come to a screen like this. This is our hub of everything listed. Everything from meeting dates and the links to the meetings that you are attending right now, to our general calendar of major events going through this process. So you can see we're going to have some more advisory lessons the rest of this week. And then most useful and most importantly, down at the bottom, there are 3 separate columns. The column on the left is going to be a lot of the documents or the lists that you have. So for example, as you are looking at all of the menus of courses that your child has to look through, those are all already posted here for you to check out. Everything from core course cards to elective course options to the Tech Center course cards. In the middle column will be where all of the presentations are posted. So you have access to videos from advisory are already listed there. These videos, the recording of this presentation will be here. And then on the right-hand side are advertisements, flyers, announcements from different programs throughout Hebron promoting their programs. These lists and materials will continue to grow as we move through this process. So this is, if you keep asking questions, generally you're going to hear a lot of answers going, it's on the webpage, it's on the webpage, and that's for your benefit so that you feel like you've always got the information you need. I do want to highlight another presentation we have tomorrow, actually during the workday. It's designed to maybe be a little bit of a lunch and learn for you at 12 p.m. Another WebEx meeting. We'll be highlighting the advanced academic and CTE courses that we offer in LISD and at Hebron High School. So if you want to get more information about the differences between regular, honors, AP, and dual credit classes, a bit more of a thorough explanation, that will be where you can find that information in that presentation. And then we will also have a more in-depth presentation about the career and technology course options, both on Hebron's campus and also at the tech centers, as another example of ways that your student can prepare for life after high school. The big dates going into next week are Monday, we're going to do a preparation activity with your student to really get them ready for course selection. And then Tuesday, January 25th is the big day. That's the day that course selection opens in Skyward, and we're going to give your student directions in that advisory period, and they're actually going to begin entering their courses in Skyward on that day. They don't have to do it all at school, so actually going into all of the courses are going to be entered in Skyward. Only the students are able to enter their courses into their accounts, but parents can view those and review those with your child. We are going to have directions, like I said, posted on our website so that you can help them at home. They're going to have from the 25th all the way until early in the morning on January 31st to enter their courses in Skyward. It's going to give them just under a week to complete that, but don't worry, there's going to be opportunities for them to continue to learn and even ask questions and even make adjustments to their course requests. So for example, we're going to have counselors from the tech centers, our virtual learning academy, and our dual credit counselor at lunch on February 1st. I know you're probably thinking this is out of order, and so those dates were actually delayed because of our rise in COVID cases in the district. So if a student has a chance to talk to a tech center counselor or learn more about dual credit and wants to make adjustments to those requests, they still have time to do that. Our goal is for us to meet with every student individually between February 21st and March 11th. Those meetings can be very quick or be many minutes long, where we are meeting with students and clarifying their requests. We may have noticed errors in their requests and giving them also a chance to just make general adjustments, and they may have changed their mind since they put those in. So they do have opportunities to make adjustments. Finally, students will have another opportunity to make adjustments to their requests in May through a process we call course verification, which essentially is Hebron asking your child, are there any last changes you want to make to your requests? Because once we get to the end of the school year, course requests are really going to shut off, and that will continue into the fall. Admittedly, with the last 2 years with COVID and a lot of our students being off campus, we have not been able to do as thorough a job with course selection and verifying requests. But if we're able to go through this process, we are going to be much more sticky about students adjusting courses, particularly in the fall after we've spent so much time going over things in the spring. So let's move on to some general course selection notes. These are just general things to keep in mind as we go through the process. The first is just to revisit our ultimate goal, which is high school graduation. 26 total credits is the amount of credits we're aiming for your child to have earned by the end of their senior year. And you can see a breakdown of our recommended credits within those 26 on this page. We are really going to emphasize students to take a credit of English, math, science, and social studies every year of high school. That not only helps them work towards their graduation requirement, but it also helps to keep their skills fresh. And for those that are applying to four-year colleges, we think that also puts the best foot forward on their applications and their transcripts. You can see additional credits are required for world language, fine art, and physical education. That list there is going to equal about 20 total credits. And so the remaining credits would be elective credits, which could be additional art classes, CTE classes, additional math and science, but whatever gets them at or above 26 total credits. Important notes about the general curriculum. Like I said, we want to encourage students to take English, math, and science every year. You will see some notes that we want students to have taken, passed at least Algebra 2 generally by the time they graduate. Many of our students get well above that or beyond that. With science, Generally, we would encourage students to have chemistry or physics by the time that they graduate. And then in social studies, there are some very particular things that are required by the state. So 11th grade students must take US history, and there's also a STAR test associated with that. And then 12th graders must take government and economics, and those are specific classes that are required for graduation. For those of you that are very interested in GPA and class rank, one thing to take note of is that there is going to be a difference in what we call GPA weighting for different levels of classes. Essentially, the more challenging classes that your student takes that is designated by whether it is on level, honors, or AP, or dual credit is going to indicate how much that class could be worth towards their GPA. The more challenging classes students take, the bigger reward they get towards their GPA. The only thing to consider, again, is just about that issue of balance, and that the more challenging classes that students take, especially at a school that moves as fast as Hebron, could become very taxing on your student when you consider all of the other things that they may have going in their life, whether that's a job, family responsibilities, team sports, performing arts, other clubs that they're doing at school or outside of school. And then, of course, I don't mean this jokingly, we also want them to be able to sleep and also have time with their families, time with their friends, so that they can also just live life. So there is an issue of balance, and we always want to stress that with our students and their families. For those of you that have questions about gifted and talented education, for those students that are designated by the district as gifted and talented, we serve those students through our honors and AP courses. We do have designated GT sections in some of our courses, but those are always going to be driven on student requests. So, for example, we have been successful in offering GT sections of things like honors chemistry the past several years, but classes like AP Government GT, while we have had some requests, we have not had enough to be able to offer those sections. So those things may not end up being offered when the master schedule is run. Also, for students that do request all GT classes where they're available, that can create a bit of a finicky puzzle that is difficult to put together on our side of things in building their schedule. So some students may have to adjust those in order to be able to get the classes that they need or they want. And all of our honors and AP courses are going to have both GT and non-GT students in those. All right. For those of you that are new to some of the high school stuff or new to our main campus, this may be one of the more tricky parts of the presentation where we go over the variety of course formats. I think it can feel a little bit like 31 flavors as we are going through all of these different formats. And so I've tried to present these slides, especially moving forward, in a bit of an orderly way so that you can keep track of your options. To keep on that theme of ice cream, the flavors of classes that we offer here at Hebron, we have on-level courses, honors, advanced placement, dual credit, and then we also offer classes at our tech centers through our virtual learning academy in the district, and then there are also summer classes. For those of you that, again, really want to have a more thorough description of our honors, advanced placement, and dual credit classes, as well as tech center courses, don't forget tomorrow at noon, we are having another presentation hosted by Mrs. Rayford and Mrs. Lovett just about that very topic. If you're looking for just some very general distinguishments on level versus honors, we really view our honors courses as a training ground preparing students for college level classes that they can take at Hebron. They're going to have weighted credit with it. There's no opportunity for college credit. And what we're really doing is trying to build students with a bit of an academic knowledge base, but also academic skills base to prepare them for AP and dual credit courses. So students taking these classes should be have their sights on taking AP and dual credit classes in the long run. Advanced placement classes are run by the College Board, which is a national program. You may also be familiar with the College Board through the PSAT and SAT programs. These are college level classes offered in a high school environment taught by high school teachers. It's a national curriculum, so theoretically students taking the same classes in Ohio, in Texas, and Oklahoma should all be really having very similar experiences in their classes. These classes will prepare students for an AP exam, which is offered nationally every May. And it's on that AP test where students will demonstrate their learning and their skills in the hopes of being able to earn college credit. So that's how the college credit is awarded through AP classes. We are going to take a pause for a moment and let Dr. Robinson discuss our dual credit program, which is a real point of pride for Hebron High School and has been growing over the last several years to where we think it is a real point of distinguishment within the district. So I'll let Dr. Robinson take over for a few minutes, and then we will get back to walking through your choices for different core courses. Dr. Robinson.
Thank you. Good night, all. I hope y'all are safe and well this evening. So Dr. Fields is exactly right. Hebron and Collin have a very close dual credit partnership. In a moment, I'll explain a little bit more about what we offer, but the main point is that dual credit courses count for both high school and college credit. Now, it's a specific set of classes that would fulfill that requirement. In order to get into these courses, students must meet some type of a Texas Success Initiative standard, STAR scores, or PSAT scores. There's a difference between dual credit and concurrent credit. If a student wants to take a class that is not on our prearranged agreement, the student will need to work with me as well as their high school counselor to understand if they are allowed to take a course. But these courses that aren't on what we call our crosswalk will only count for college credit, not for Hebron credit. But we would love to support your child if that is an interest of theirs. Again, just a simple reminder, a college course that is dual credit is a course that's used to simultaneously earn high school as well as college credit in the same class. There are a ton of benefits to doing this. Some of my favorite benefits include the smaller class sizes. I really do think dual credit is a very safe testing ground for students to get an understanding of what college is like. They begin their college transcript, and Collin is such an inexpensive institution in comparison with a lot of others out there. Going into that, Collin College is roughly $175 per class. In college, classes transition from a half a credit hour to about 3 credit hours, and they charge, again, at Collin, roughly $55 per credit hour. So again, you can save a ton of money by starting at Collin. Dual credit courses are transferable to most public four-year colleges and universities in Texas. If your kiddo wants to study out of state at a private institution or even out of state at a private institution, all hope is not lost. We would just encourage y'all to speak with those admissions counselors there about the most common classes that they accept for transfer credit. So, if y'all are thinking if dual credit is right for y'all and for your family, I really would encourage you guys to think about these 5 things. It's a college class. We take attendance, but we assume that students, if they have to miss a class for a soccer game, a theater performance, a band rehearsal, something like that, they have to communicate that information with their professors. They're responsible to uphold Collin's Code of Conduct, to understand the drop and withdraw deadlines at Collin, and we also expect them to learn how to self-advocate for themselves and show maturity in that manner when approaching their professors. All right, so we're going to go over this a little bit more tomorrow, but I just wanted to take a moment and show you guys the major differences between dual credit and AP. Both dual credit and AP can potentially earn college level credit. However, the awarding of the credit for AP depends on how the student does on that AP exam. For dual credit, the student has to pass the class at both Collin and Hebron. Again, credit is awarded for dual credit students when the student gets that final grade on the dual credit course. Again, you have to complete the AP exam and get the requisite score to get the credit for the AP class. Again, you have to be eligible for dual credit classes by showing passing test scores on those tests I've listed below. Dual credit is taught by Collin professors, while AP is taught by Hebron high school professors who have the licensure to teach that subject. Typically, colleges and universities apply the credit to the degree in a very similar way between dual credit and AP, but again, it depends on how the college or the university has determined the necessary advanced placement test score. Collin does cost tuition money, whereas AP, the student has to pay for the AP exam, but not the course itself.
Dr. Robinson, we did have a question from a parent who clarified and said they live in Denton County and not Collin County. So does that impact their tuition rate?
So Collin, a couple years ago, made an amazing exception for students who wanted to do dual credit but didn't live in Collin County. That is a ton of Hebron students because they have Denton County addresses. So while the student is taking classes in high school, they will get the in-county rate. Now, if your kiddo graduates and wants to take classes the summer between their high school and college transition, it goes back up to the out-of-county rate. But while they're in high school, they do get that in-county deduction. So we have worked together as a team to figure out what the best dual credit options are for juniors and seniors that would apply to the most universities possible. We got English 1301, History 1301, English 1302, and History 1302. That's what we call colloquially dual credit humanities. They pair together that first set in the fall and in the spring, and this is for juniors. Doing this course sequence and completing all 4 courses will get students credit for 4 out of the 14 core required courses in college or the university.
And I just want to clarify for those trying to scribble notes down, we're going to go over this information again in several slides. So don't worry, this isn't the last time you'll hear this.
So then for seniors, the options do get a little more varied. For seniors who really love reading and writing and find that their strong suit, for English 4, they can take English 2327 and Speech 1311. Those courses do have to be paired together in the same semester. Students can take them in the fall or the spring, but these will count for English 4. English 2327 counts for the language, philosophy, and culture requirement of the Texas Common Core, if you're looking at it from the college and university perspective, and speech counts for the 9th requirement. One of the other options for seniors, again, is Government 2305 and Economics 2301, fulfilling that social studies credit for seniors. Again, they have to be paired together. They can be taken in the fall or the spring, and government fulfills that first federal government requirement, and economics fulfills that social and behavioral sciences requirement in the university core. The thing I also like about the economics class is that if your student wants to major or minor in business, the students will be required to take Economics 2301. So if we get into the other slide, we are also offering for juniors and seniors in the fall or the spring combined Psychology 2301 and Sociology 1301. Those fulfill, they again have to be taken together. Juniors, you can also take these courses if you would like to, and they fulfill the social and behavioral sciences requirement. If you do econ and gov, psych, and soc, you will end up eating some of your electives when you get to that university. To finish us up, we're also offering statistics to juniors or seniors who qualify with TSI, PSAT, or STAR scores only in the fall. It is paired on the days that the Collin professor doesn't come to campus with an independent study for extra reflection and practice, and it does fulfill the college core math requirement. Now, this is really, really, really important for you guys to pay attention, and I did highlight this box on purpose. Students have to qualify for Math 1342, as I said, but from what we university folks see, majors are very particular with what they have required for math in the core. If your student wants to do a STEM pathway, that major is eventually going to want to see calculus. Pre-calc is the prereq for calculus, and college algebra is the prereq for pre-calc. Math 1342, that's statistics, is very, very, very helpful if the student wants to go pre-health or social sciences. That is the only college level math class that we're offering dual credit at Hebron's campus. If the student wants to do business, I tell every student that it's Math 1324, which is math for business majors. It's basically the math side of economics. If the student wants to get a liberal arts degree in something like history or political science, suddenly liberal arts math 1332 comes up as an option. And if the student knows that they want to be a teacher, it is math for elementary or secondary education teachers. So before you go signing up for statistics, really talk as a family about the student's career pathway so that we can pair them with the correct math class. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Robinson. You will see throughout as we go through the different course subjects that we will also refer to Virtual Learning Academy or VLA as an option. VLA is an LISD school and it is staffed by LISD teachers. These classes are offered inside and outside of the school day. So if your student has a class listed within one of their 4 periods, that class will be free. If they take the class outside of the school day, as essentially a 5th class, for example, you would assume the cost for the course. If you take the class inside the school day, those classes are available 1st, 3rd, or 4th period. So, for example, if a student has a VLA class during 1st period, they would be expected to not be on campus during that time. They could they would be coming to school and arriving in time for 2nd period. The classes are also delivered, we call asynchronously, meaning that they're not live. So quite honestly, if you had a 1st period VLA class as a student, you could wake up early and work on that class. You could sleep in. You may be taking care of your siblings or other family matters and then reporting to class, but you don't have to take it during that time. VLA is a growing program. It was actually growing at Hebron even before virtual education became a very familiar thing with the rise of the COVID pandemic. So you will see that in the VLA course card, which is now posted on our course selection information homepage. Just to give you a sense of what that is, I think you can see on my screen, they have now begun to offer more social studies electives. They have also begun to offer more math classes and also started to offer their first science class as well. And they've expanded their foreign language classes in addition. There are limits on the amount of VLA classes that a student can take. Essentially, they can take 3 VLA classes over the course of the entire school year and no more than 2 in a semester. So for example, if a student took 2 VLA classes in the fall semester, they could only take 1 in the spring. So it's important to consider. Another thing would also be these would be students who would be much more independently responsible, able to manage their own class time, able to learn independently. They will have a live teacher with them, but again, virtual classes are going to have a different responsibility placed upon the learner to assume more than they might in a regular classroom environment. All right. Let's see. So we are going to walk through the core course options right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk through English and all through the English, math, science, and social studies. We're going to go over what the 11th grade and then the 12th grade options are for each thing. You're going to see some extra more wordy slides that I might glaze over, and those will be better for reference as you might be reviewing this after we're done as you consider options. Hopefully we're going to go over these in a very standard format. If you have questions as we go, you can put those in the chat, and I will also rely on some of my teammates to field those questions or maybe let me know if there are some themes that are coming up. So as we go through these course options as well, once we get through English, math, science, and social studies, that should pretty much take care of half of your child's course selections. You'll be halfway done. And that's when the last half of our presentation will take place, is we're going to give you some just things to think of and how to round out the course selection. For 11th graders for English, you need to take some version of English 3. your choices would be an on-level English 3 class or AP English 3, and both of those are 18-week courses worth 1 credit. We also offer what we refer to as an AP Humanities experience. AP Humanities is going to be the combination of AP English 3 and AP US History together. They're going to be offered as a pair over the entire 36 weeks of the school year. So they're going to start this experience in August and finish it in May. And they will take AP English and AP US History every other day, typically with the same cohort of about 30 students. At the end of that experience, they would be eligible to take both the AP English 3 and AP US History test. In addition to AP Humanities, as Dr. Robinson described, we do offer dual credit humanities as well, which is a very similar concept to the AP version. It is a 36-week experience, so it will run from August to May, and students in that class would complete both English 1301 and History 1301 in the fall. And again, that would be taken every other day in the same period. And then in the spring, they would take English 1302, and then they would take History 1302 in the spring. Students can also take English 3 and AP English 3 through VLA. To elaborate a bit more with AP English, it's going to be, anytime you hear AP, I would think more in-depth work, more independent learning, and more time learning out of class. So there's generally going to be a greater expectation for reading every night, certainly working on critical thinking and critical reading skills as well. To elaborate on the dual credit humanities, hopefully this slide may help to clarify and get a better picture in your head. So for a student that does dual credit humanities, if you look on the left-hand side, they're going to take English 1301 and 1302 in this experience. Both of those classes together are going to equal English 3 at Hebron. When they take both of those classes, that's going to be worth 6 college English credits or 1 high school English credit at Hebron. Similarly, they're going to take History 1301 and 1302 for 6 college history credits, and that on the Hebron side will equal US History credit for graduation and 1 high school social studies credit. Let's see. For 12th grade English, you are going to take English 4, and very similar to what we just discussed, there are several different flavors of this. There's on-level English 4 and AP English 4, both 18-week classes. And then as Dr. Robinson explained, we also offer dual credit English 4. It is an 18-week experience, and it is the combination of 2 dual credit classes, English 2327, which is American Literature, and Speech 1311, which is Intro to Speech. Both of those classes together must be passed in order to have credit for English 4. Students can also take English 4 through VLA or outside the school day. There are some advanced education or advanced English courses that are also eligible to take the place of English 4. Those would be things like advanced levels of newspaper or yearbook, for example. While those things are available, I would describe them as rarely taken advantage of, just because of the preparation that students are doing for college, and that how a college may view AP English 4 or an English 4 class versus a yearbook class, for example. Both would be working on skills, but how a college might view them from an admission standpoint might be different. So generally, I think it's safest to take some version of English 4 in addition to those other advanced classes if you are interested in doing that. Just to clarify on dual credit English, it's a 2-course package. Both classes together have to be passed in order to get credit for English 4. Students, to be able to take dual credit English 4, must have completed dual credit humanities during the 11th grade as well, because those English classes that you take at Collin are the prerequisites for the classes at Collin for American Literature. Okay, so that is the first round of English descriptions. I'm going to ask are there any questions that we need to elaborate on from my teammates that you're seeing in the chat?
Yes, I would say there's questions about honors English for junior and senior, just being on level in the AP.
Great. So if you remember, we described honors level courses as kind of a training ground for those college prep or those college level courses. So Honors classes are going to be more common in freshman and sophomore year, and then as the AP classes become more available junior and senior year, the honors level classes are going to go away. So for junior year, there is just regular AP and dual credit. You're not going to see honors available there. Very similarly, you won't see honors classes available in social studies either. It's going to be regular or AP or dual credit. Any other questions or themes to hit on for English?
We're all good.
Okay, excellent. So we're going to basically follow a very similar pattern for social studies as we talk about those options. So like I mentioned at the very beginning of the presentation, for 11th graders, it's US history. You can take additional social studies classes to this, but you have to take US history as an 11th grader. The course can be taken, like I said, as on-level, AP, or dual credit. And there is a STAR test associated with this course that's required for graduation. The class and the STAR test have to be passed as a part of the state graduation requirements. This slide will show you again, I made a typo already, the list of classes for AP history. Oops, sorry, I'm making a, so we've got, like I said, on level, AP, and then again, just to remind you, we have the AP Humanities. So if your student takes AP Humanities, they will be earning AP English and AP US History together in that full year experience. Also, if they're taking dual credit Humanities, they will be getting that English and US History credit over the course of the entire school year. VLA offers regular and AP US History as well. One thing to note is that while VLA is a very popular option for some summer classes, VLA does not offer AP US History during the summer. So that is not an option to consider during that time. One thing that's surprising about AP US History to some people is that it can feel, and it's described by teachers as much of an English class as it is a history class. There's going to be a lot of history explained, but also a heavy emphasis placed on learning about essay writing, discussions, analyzing documents, and developing themes in their writing. Time management's important as in any AP level class, and students are generally who do well in that class are ones that enjoy a challenge, that they are also willing to work on study skills and note-taking skills as a part of their academic experience and as a part of their learning. For seniors, your choices for seniors, remember, you have to take government and economics as part of state graduation requirements. You can take additional social studies classes, but these must be earned in order to graduate. On the left-hand side of this screen, you will see the government options. As is becoming a theme, we have on-level government. And again, this class is a 9-week, 1/2 credit class. There's also AP US Government, which is a 9-week class for 1/2 credit. Dual credit offers a government and economics experience, which is both classes taken together. And those classes are going to be taken together over 18 weeks in the similar format of government and economics happening every other day. So for example, if they started this in August, they would take both classes every other day until December, and then they would have those classes completed for graduation by the time we hit winter break. VLA also offers classes inside and outside of the school day as on-level or AP. Economics, very similar. We have on-level economics and AP macroeconomics offered at Hebron. Dual credit, like I said, you can satisfy it through that dual credit option. And then VLA offers classes as well. One point that I want to note is that VLA also offers an AP microeconomics class. This is new and it is different. This is not the same as the graduation requirement. So students must take the macroeconomics if they're doing the AP to satisfy that graduation requirement. Another way to visualize that dual credit experience, just to make sure that it's clear for you, Government 2305 is 3 college credits, and that class equals the US government 1/2 credit for high school that's required, and economics is going to be 3 credits and also equal to the economics class experience as well. So that's how they would complete the graduation requirement that way. All right, that brings us to the end of our social studies options. Are there any questions or themes about social studies that we can address? Okay, so we had a question about if a student transferred from out of the district in 11th grade, are they allowed to take AP or dual credit? So if a student is moving from outside of the district and they are ready to start their junior year next year, they are eligible to take AP or dual credit. There are not any restrictions. The only restriction with dual credit is being able to qualify for that. And as always, Hebron High School is unique with its accelerated block schedule. It is a academically challenging school that also moves very quickly. And so I think that that's worth thinking about. And so sometimes students just need to make sure that they get a feel for the pace of the school in addition to the difficulty of the classes. All right, so with math, and I'm going to pull up, I believe, a different screen right now. With math, there are a lot of choices to consider, and I'm going to, forgive me, I'm going to try and share something different. Let's see. I have a chart that might be a bit more helpful in understanding what the math choices are. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to share a chart that has, okay, Ms. Bradley, can you see a white math chart right now?
Right now, it does look like a math chart. I mean, it's colorful. Is it supposed to be colorful?
It is not supposed to be colorful. It is supposed to be white. How about this? Can you see that now?
And nothing. Oh, yep.
Yes.
Yes. We went to the math.
Okay, so this chart is probably the best way for you to look at your math options as we move forward for both 11th and 12th grade year. You can follow it basically like a tree that goes from the top down to the bottom, where every student needs to have algebra and geometry, and then from geometry, we start to really break out into different branches. So, for example, on the left-hand side of the branch, you will see Algebra 2 as a possible third math option that can be offered in a on-level or honors format. Also, a student after geometry could consider taking statistics or AP computer science as a math option, but it would be much more typical to take Algebra 2, particularly for a stronger math student. On the right-hand side, we do have a math option for students that have struggled in math, particularly in the algebra portions of it, which we have a class called Math Models. One thing that we can see students in making a mistake in their math selections is they may have performed poorly in Algebra 1, but done very well in geometry, and then assume that based on their geometry experience, they're ready to take honors Algebra 2, when really what they should be probably reflecting on is their algebra experience to give them some direction in that. After Algebra 2, along the left-hand side, you will see from there the choices really start to explode. With AP Statistics, we have dual credit math options, pre-calculus, college prep math, math models. The choices get very varied. And so one of the things that we have to help people make a decision about their options is this bit more colorful chart here. Ms. Bradley, can you see that colorful chart right here?
Yes.
Okay, so this chart was put together through the collaboration of Denton County colleges and the area high schools to give high school students a bit more of a direction on what their math options could be based upon their career interests. I think this is very useful, and this is in particular for fourth math classes, or what we would describe as after Algebra 2. You will see down here in this second column from the left, you will see future career interests. And for example, a student that is interested in art or music or theater could look at something like math models or statistics. or even AP statistics if they are interested in fourth math classes. If they are not demonstrating college readiness on tests like the TSI or the PSAT or the SAT, they may consider taking college prep math. And you're going to see that as the theme. For our students that are not demonstrating college readiness in math, but have completed Algebra 2, college prep math is really going to be the best option for them. You will see for fields in public service like social work, psychology, nursing, criminal justice, you will see examples of statistics or AP statistics recommended for people. And that's similar in business fields as well. It's really where you get into more of the STEM, where you'll see engineering or technology, where pre-calculus starts to be, and calculus starts to be recommended over statistics. So I think this page is really a good reference point to see what could be most useful. I think what we see sometimes is students assuming I'm really good at math, I should take the hardest math class I can, which would be AP Calculus, or AP Calculus AB or BC. But what students sometimes might find is that that math experience becomes less useful for them, where they might have benefited more from taking a dual credit or an AP Statistics class as an example. All right. I'm going to attempt to change my sharing, so bear with me here. Okay. Ms. Bradley, can you see the slideshow again?
Yes, in the, like, we can see your whole computer screen format.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Excellent. So a couple of notes that are here just about things like Honors Algebra 2, and these will be better reference for you later on, but there's going to be less emphasis on calculators. Students are going to be expected to do work and flex their math skills, not just their calculator usage skills. The honors classes, particularly in pre-calculus and Algebra 2, are viewed, I think, as quite challenging by our students, so something very careful to consider. Students are able to take calculus, AB, and BC over the entire school year. And it's a nice addition to have on-level statistics in addition to AP statistics for students that are considering their options. To clarify on Dr. Robinson, when she was presenting about the dual credit math, we do offer elementary statistics, which is a 3-credit class worth half a credit. So we pair that with an independent study math class that will give a student a full week's experience in math and then give them an opportunity to earn a full high school credit of math as well. Are there any questions that we should talk about before we go to science from my counseling teammates? Okay. So for science, if you were going to ask me personally, what's a general college prep science timeline, I would say biology, chemistry, physics, and a 4th science class. That would be seen as a very standard high school course sequence for a student who is not sure what they want to do and has not thought much about what they want to do. The reason why that is looked at as a very standard sequence is it gives students a chance to see all of the different major categories of science before they get to college. Basically saying, if you don't take a class like physics in high school, is the first time that you see physics, really, do you want that to be in a college environment? One way to think about it. But because we offer so many science credits or so many science options, and you can see on this screen right now, all of the science options that are available for 12th graders, and all of these, with the exception of food science, are offered to juniors as well, is that students can start to differentiate or maybe specialize or explore an area that is really interesting to them and what their career goals are. So if your student is really interested in medicine or of any kind, we've got anatomy, medical microbiology, pathophysiology, classes like that. Students that are interested in environment, or maybe even just politically or socially interested in environmental causes, may benefit from taking things like aquatic science, astronomy, or AP environmental science. And then those of you that are needing or wanting a much more in-depth science experiment, we have AP Chemistry, AP Biology, and then AP Physics C. Please note that these AP Chemistry, AP Bio, and AP Physics C, those are year-long experiences that are made up of 3 separate classes. So AP Chemistry, for example, would be taken in the fall, and then AP Chemistry Research and Design and Test Prep are taken in the spring, giving the student all of those credits and helping them to prepare and perform as well as they can on the AP Science test of their choice. If you go to the core course cards, you'll see all of these courses listed, and you can furthermore use our course description guide in the district to see much more detailed descriptions of these classes to help make a decision. Math and science in particular, I think are subjects where students get the best advice or best advising from their teachers about what to take. Even if your child took a class last semester, they can stop by the classroom, send an email to the teacher to get some advice on what they need to take. Those teachers oftentimes not only have seen your student perform for an entire 18 weeks, but they also may know their future goals and can make recommendations about what would best serve them based on what they know they might need to take down the line in college experience. All right. AP Chemistry, AP Biology, and AP Physics C, these are viewed as very rigorous course experiences. I would not encourage a student to take more than one of these per school year. The other AP science classes, AP Physics 1, AP Physics 2, and AP Environmental Science, those are just 18-week classes. Students that are taking AP Physics C, this is a calculus-based class, so students are expected to either have completed Calculus AB and BC or be taking it at the same time as they take that class. All right, that brings us to the end of science, and we're going to get into some more general jump-offs from here. Are there any science questions or themes that my team is seeing that are worth discussing as a group?
I would just say that if students had direct questions about Colin and dual credit that they wanted to direct to Dr. Robinson, I did put her email in the chat. And we had a question back on English about if a student did not take dual credit English their junior year, can they take dual credit English their senior year? That we should probably address. And then I had another parent ask if we had one of those pretty charts for science like we did for math.
It's not pretty, no, but the list is there. There's not necessarily as much of a sequence as there is in math. For science, it becomes more about interests or preparation, I would say. And so that does not exist. We can post those math charts, though, on our course selection page, and that will be there tomorrow for you to refer to if you need to. I'm going to let Dr. Robinson correct some of the wrinkles in my answer. If your child did not take dual credit English 3, the only way they would be able to take dual credit English 4 is if they had taken AP English 3 instead and had performed well on the AP English exam and have sent that score to Colin so that they have proof of that. Dr. Robinson, do you want to just fill out my answer? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So English 2327 is that first half of that English 4 dual credit course for seniors. The prereq for that is English 1302, which juniors typically take in their spring semester. Obviously, the prereq for that being English 1301 in the fall semester. If the student took AP English 3, took the test, and got a 4 or a 5 on that AP English 3 exam, that will give them credit for both English 1301 and 1302, thus satisfying the prerequisite requirement. If they only got a 3 on the exam, it only gives them credit for English 1301, not both.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so we're going to just jump off into a couple of general reminders about schedules and then give you another link to see all of the resources you can to have to plan things. Please consider the accelerated block at Hebron, the academic challenging nature of the classes, and what you think a student can handle in terms of honors, AP, and dual credit classes. We always remind students that a balanced schedule is not guaranteed, and sometimes it's not even possible based upon what students take. So if a student sees, for example, they have 3 AP classes in one semester, they'd say, well, that can't be. And sometimes it may be the only way that a student gets their classes. When a student submits their course selections to us, the counselors, and they say, these are my top 8 choices, our goal as a counseling department is to give your student a schedule that includes as many or all of those top 8 requests as possible. And sometimes that is in an unbalanced format. Programs, athletics, tech center classes can create imbalance. And I want to show you just a few examples of what we mean by that. So you're going to see in the next several slides a couple of examples. If a student, for example, takes band all year, and then you'll notice in the spring, they have signed up to take a tech class that's only available in the spring. That means by default, with band taking up 1 spot and the tech center class taking up 2 spots, a lot of core classes are going to have to spill into the fall semester for that student, creating what they might call an imbalanced class. But sometimes this is the only way that the schedule can be put together. So that's something to consider. Whenever a student is taking a tech center class, typically that means that one semester is going to be have more core courses than the other. Another example, when elective choices are only offered in a particular term, and maybe if a student requests 2 9-week courses that only fit together in a certain spot, that can also create a situation where a student has more core classes in one semester versus another. So that can create a bit of an imbalance. But again, this is something, in order to give the student all of classes that they request, this is the only way that it could possibly be put together. Similarly, when students take several year-long class experiences, for example, like athletics, and if they take humanities and then an AP science class like chemistry, that's going to potentially create a schedule that might look like this, where there is a heavy emphasis in one semester versus another. And then finally, with our seniors especially, we don't encourage it, but we see it every year with seniors sometimes having bigger eyes than their stomach when they go to the course selection page, and they might say things like, I'm going to take all calculus, I'm going to take AP biology, and they really load up, and that by the time they start to hit winter break, January of their senior year comes around, sometimes that AP calculus BC might not have been such a hot idea. And so we want people to think about what their choices are and what they really think is realistic or useful or what's going to meet their energy. Remember, if you've never taken a Tech Center class, you'll learn about those more tomorrow if you view the presentation. Tech Center classes are blocked in 2-period chunks. So they are, for example, 1st and 2nd period or 3rd and 4th period for 18 weeks. These classes are awesome experiences that can give students a chance to even earn certifications or explore careers in depth. But that's, sometimes I describe the 8-credit schedule as a puzzle to students, and that visual really helps with them. And if you think about a Tech Center class is a big kind of square puzzle piece that takes up almost half or a quarter of their schedule all in one chunk. So that's helpful to visualize how that could affect the rest of their schedule. There are some classes in the district that are dual credit classes, but partnered through North Central Texas College or NCTC. These classes are typically through the tech centers or through LHS. That would be our firefighter program or our cybersecurity program. There's also a welding program, for example, that is partnered with a dual credit as well. So there are some things that are offered through the tech centers, and those will be discussed more in depth tomorrow by Ms. Lovett and Ms. Rayford. For juniors and seniors, you will see some test prep classes also become available, and I want to clarify those for you. So the first is there's a PSAT team class. That class is offered only for juniors, and it is a class by invitation only, and it is based upon a student's performance on the PSAT as a 10th grader. That class is only offered in the first 9 weeks of the fall semester, and there is summer participation required with that. The invitations for that class have not gone out yet, but students will have a chance to request that if they are invited, and more information will be coming from those instructors. Those are our instructors in the school, not the counseling department that runs that class. So that stuff will be distributed soon. There is an SAT, ACT prep class that is available for any 11th or 12th grader that wants to have time to work on those skills. This is typically offered in the second 9 weeks of the fall semester. Students are just recommended to have completed or be taking Algebra 2 to be set up for success for that. These classes are amazing experiences just to be able to build programming into a student's schedule. So if you are interested in having your child do some test prep during the school day, these can be great things that force them to do that. Just keep in mind, when they're requesting classes like this, these are 9-week or half-credit classes. So they're going to have to pair that with a half-credit or another 9-week elective in order to be able to make the schedule come together in a full 8-week sequence. Finally, we want our students to take course selection seriously, because so much is based on that from the school management standpoint. If you think about course selection as putting a meal together, the request that your students give us in the spring of 2022 is going to be what we make the grocery list and make the big meal out of for the fall master schedule in the fall of 2022. It is what we base our schedule building, our staff hiring, our staff budgeting on. So it is important that students do take these seriously. But after they submit their request next week, there will be opportunities for them to adjust or correct those. The best way to do that would be through some individual counselor meetings that we are going to do between February 21st and March 11th. So I know typically we get a rush of emails and requests for students to get together to talk. With as many students that have that, really the best way for us to facilitate a lot of those is to do that during these meetings. We are going to call classes down in groups, and they're going to then meet with their counselor and get questions answered or make changes if they need to. So that's something to look forward to. But please, if you can let this process play out, we intend to give every student a chance to get their time with their counselor. I've also reiterated this. We don't do teacher requests when we put together schedules. Students that are requesting AP classes or honors classes should expect to stay in those classes and try those through the first 9 weeks of a school year, because oftentimes there's just so little room in the schedule to actually be able to facilitate changes. And we want your students to really persist and make an effort in those classes that they've requested. Really, the only instances where we are making adjustments is if there was an error on our behalf or a program change. So for example, if a student decides to stop playing a sport, or they decide that they can't do one of the tech center programs, we would make an adjustment to that. And elective changes are not going to be made starting next year, just because of the amount of effort we're going to put into correcting requests with students this spring. Finally, again, I'll ask my teammates to put some of these links in the chat. But if you have questions, the best place to start would be our course selection information page. That page, like I said, will eventually tomorrow we'll have a recording of this presentation, as well as the 10th grade presentation going on right now. Advisory lessons will be posted there. The course cards will be posted there for you to review. We have a Twitter feed, which is available for you to get information about if you want to see what we're putting out as reminders. That's really the best place to go, and you can start looking at that now and getting a good idea. Since we put together the 4 core courses, really the only thing from here would be to think about the easy stuff. Does your student play a sport? Are they in a performing arts group? That's going to start to eat away at the remaining space in the schedule. Are they really interested in doing a tech center class? Are they in ROTC? Start with those big things and see if that can eat away at the remaining space in the course selections. And then after that gets done, it's really about electives. What are they interested in? What do they want to try? Do they have a talent they want to be able to facilitate here? Are they an excellent drawer? Are they love writing and they want to be in yearbook or journalism? That's how we want to view those elective courses. That concludes my sharing tonight. So what we're going to do is offer time to answer questions in the chat. If you can put any remaining questions in the chat, go ahead and type those in. And myself, Dr. Robinson, and the rest of my teammates that are co-hosting will answer those either in written or verbal. If you are done and you've got all the information you need, you are welcome to log off, and then you can keep an eye on more information coming out through the course selection page tomorrow, and then going all the way through the spring. Thank you very much.
Justin,
Yes.
I wanted to reemphasize about the Career Center courses and to make sure that they really watch the video, read all about it before choosing a Career Center course, because that is a big commitment. There's only a few seats available in each program for each campus across the district. And when we have students sign up for that commitment, knowing that it could be at the Career Center East, which is just down the road next door to Killian Middle School, or it could end up being at Career Center West, which is over closer to the Flower Mound side of the district. And there is a bus that leaves from Hebron to take them over there and to bring them back. They would just have to be at Hebron to be able to catch those buses, or parents or students, if they drive, have the ability to drive back and forth. But knowing that is part of the Career Center commitment when you are signing up for that spot, it's a great thing to get one of those spots. And so when you do sign up for it, you are committing to that course that year. You can't go for like a week or two and then go, oh, never mind, I'm not going to do this for my career, and then come out of it.
Yeah. There is also great videos to help you see exactly what they do in those programs on the course selection information page. Those Career Center classes, Ms. Tarver, those classes are not offered virtually. They are offered, those are in-person classes. Students changing their graduation endorsements, let's see, Dana Ronderos, those endorsement changes are something that the counselors monitor. I would put it this way, graduation endorsements, there are 5 options for endorsements. Your child just needs to earn 1, and that is for high school graduation. The colleges that students are going to, they do not care about what the endorsement is. They just care that your child has graduated from high school. So part of our job as counselors is just tracking and making sure students are on track to complete an endorsement by the time they graduate. Most of the time, our students are completing the multidisciplinary endorsement just by taking 4 credits of English, math, science, and social studies. And very rarely do we have to make specific changes to help a student accommodate a graduation requirement or an endorsement requirement. So I'm happy to answer more questions about that, but that's something that we'll manage, and it's I don't want you to worry more about the endorsements than really is necessary on your side of things. That's a good question about so the options for endorsements, that stuff will be listed through the district, and we can post some of that information on our course selection page. Regarding special effects and courses like that, I think the best things that students can do for that would be participating in things like our theater program, where they would have both the acting and also the technical side, where people would be learning about everything from lights and sound to makeup. That's probably the best opportunity for students to do those kinds of things. We also have AV production classes through the tech campuses where students can get experience as well with all sides of the TV or AV production. So everything from behind the camera to editing to being in front of the camera. Sometimes we do the best options that we can. Another good point about there is cosmetology that would also focus a lot on makeup and skills that would be applied. So that's another great opportunity Ms. Bradley highlighted as well. So in terms of IT, we do offer classes at Hebron like computer science. We also offer digital media courses. We hope to offer a robotics class where they can get skills in that. But there are also things at the tech centers which are, again, going to be much more in depth. They're going to use some really great technology and even be eligible to earn certain certifications there. So the easiest example of that would be everything from Cisco networking classes that are offered at the tech campuses, computer maintenance, cybersecurity. So there are really great programs on both campuses. Again, if you don't have any other questions, you are welcome to sign out, or you can keep watching chat questions as they come. So Ms. Tarver asked a question about college application stuff and essay writing. A lot of our senior English classes will do work on college essay writing. And there are probably some junior level classes that also might focus on that as well. That is support that we do want to provide through the counseling office, and Dr. Robinson is a great asset to that. Furthermore, we do have a partnership with the University of North Texas. They have a Geforce program, which is a group of students. They are college students, and their job is to come to different high school campuses and volunteer and assist students with that. So they help students start college applications. They help them with interviewing skills. They look over essays. They can just be people to talk to about college experiences and decisions to make about majors in college life. So they come typically every other week to Hebron. Since UNT has not started back up or is still starting up their spring semester, they've not returned to campus, but that is another resource where students can get support. Okay. It is 7:12. I'm going to give just about a minute or two more for any remaining questions to be submitted in the chat. Okay, so the question about when will this be available to watch. So as soon as we actually shut the recording off, it will take overnight to process the recording. My goal is to have these posted on our course selection information page by the time we leave school tomorrow. So please check back, and our hope is that they would be listed there. When they are posted, it's likely that we will also send a notice to parents and students so that they could look over these things. Open houses. So the district has pushed back open houses until at least after February 1st. So I know each campus is watching some of the rise in COVID cases and making a decision about when theirs would be pushed back to. I know that Hebron High School has not determined when theirs would be. There are some events that are coming up through the tech campuses, and those are also posted on the course selection information page. On the right-hand side, they have some community events, and also they have some excellent guided tours, video tours where you can, it's an hour long almost, where you can fast forward through different parts, but you can see the entire facility. So those are great things to look over. I would also just keep an eye on those tech center websites through the district, and they will also be announcing their campus events as well. Okay, I'm going to give one more minute until 7:15 to see if there are any remaining questions in the chat. It is possible for a student to take senior off and to have a career center class. That is possible. Okay, any other remaining questions?
On there was a question about virtual options. There is a separate VLA course card. So VLA has a course card with all of their options that is separate from the course cards for Hebron.
Yes, and that is posted on the course selection page as well. Okay. All right, thank you all for a great presentation. Again, stay tuned to our website for more information, and I appreciate your time this evening. Have a good evening. End meeting. End meeting.